In the ever-evolving landscape of education technology, one company emerged as a giant in India, captivating the nation with its promise of revolutionizing learning. It all began in 2011 when Byju entered the world of education technology. With a vision to transform learning, they quickly expanded their operations, captivating the nation with their innovative approach. They didn't stop there. Byju hired some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment to promote their brand. Superstar Shah Rukh Khan, cricketer Virat Kohli, badminton player PV Sindhu, and Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra all became ambassadors of Byju, catapulting the company to new heights. They even signed the global football star Lionel Messi as their global ambassador. Within a short span of time, Byju's valuation skyrocketed, reaching a staggering $22 billion, making it the world's most expensive edtech startup.
Why are we doing this interview in Dubai? Those who are against you and those who have put cases on you, they're saying you'd like an international fugitive.
That's a game played wrong by a few vulture lenders who are based out of US. These are narratives which they have created trying to take control of the company.
Lookout notice that ED has put out?
If ED puts out a lookout notice, they will never make that public because that defeats the purpose.
Videos which were there on social media saying they were overworked, underpaid. There was this hyper-aggressive mode that the sales force went.
We have made mistakes, but all of that was in the initial years. We have corrected all of that. I will never sell anything to anyone which I won't give it to my son.
These legal cases take place.
Yeah.
You get named in it too.
Try and weaken Byju by blaming and pulling everybody around him who supports him.
They send people to our home. They threaten people.
A man who once built India's most valuable startup watched it go to zero. Now his global lenders may be willing to walk away from $1 billion legal battle in exchange for a 30% stake in a coaching company valued at $2 billion US. Is this justice, a settlement, or the final chapter of the most spectacular edtech collapse in history? Hi, this is Indranil and you are watching the Spotlight Media and Technology. To understand what's happening now, you need to understand what Byju's was. Byju Raveendran, a teacher from Kerala, built Think and Learn, the parent company of Byju's, into India's most valuable startup. At its peak, it was valued at $22 billion US. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Byju's operated in more than 21 countries, offering online courses to millions of students globally. It acquired companies aggressively. Aakash Educational Services for $1 billion US in 2021. Whitehead Junior, Great Learning, Epic. Capital was flowing, ambition was limitless, and then in early 2023, the wall hit. The dispute began with US-based lenders who had extended a $1.2 billion US term loan to Byju's. Glas Trust, acting as trustee for this group of lenders, accused Raveendran of mismanagement and demanded repayment of $1 billion US in unpaid loans.
This edtech giant once had Shah Rukh Khan as its face and Messi as its global ambassador. But behind the billion-dollar image was mounting debt and a founder now sentenced to jail.
I had thousands of crores, now I have nothing.
So how did Byju's, once one of India's biggest startups, end up here?
Byju's filed for bankruptcy in India in 2024. The legal battle spread across courts in India, Singapore, and the United States simultaneously. Raveendran and Byju's denied any wrongdoing. 250
million students coming to our platforms. That's 5 times more than anyone who's there, if you can even call them a competitor.
But in 2024, Raveendran himself said publicly the company is worth zero. 4 words, $22 billion gone. From startup billionaire to bankruptcy in under 2 years. Now, sources with direct knowledge tell Reuters that lenders are in advanced settlement talks. The proposed structure: lenders take approximately 30% stake in Aakash Educational Services. In return, they drop all legal allegations against Raveendran. The talks reportedly involved Raveendran himself, Glas Trust, Aakash, and Manipal Health, which is now the largest shareholder in Aakash, having diluted Byju's original stake to a minority position. Aakash is valued at roughly $2 billion in these stocks. For context, Byju's bought Aakash for $1 billion in 2021. The asset has held value even as the parent collapsed entirely. None of the parties, Byju's, Glas Trust, Aakash, Manipal, responded to request for comment. Why does a 30% stake in Aakash matter enough to settle a $1 billion legal war? Because Aakash is the opposite of Byju's in almost every way. 300 plus physical coaching centers across India, 5,000 plus faculty members, annual revenue of approximately $254 million, core product, test preparation for India's most competitive entrance exams, medical, engineering, school boards. Aakash is offline, physical, profitable, proven. In a post-Edtech bubble world, the most valuable education asset Byju's ever owned is the one that never went fully digital. Now, here is where the spotlight media and technology's perspective matters. This settlement, if it closes, raises fundamental questions about governance, accountability, and stakeholder equity. Let's look at both sides honestly. For the US lenders, a 30% stake in a $2 billion business represents a meaningful recovery on a disputed $1 billion loan. Avoiding prolonged multi-jurisdictional litigation reduces cost, uncertainty, and reputational exposure. From a fiduciary standpoint, settlement makes sense. But the governance concern is real. Dropping all legal allegations in exchange for equity means the questions around fund mismanagement, where did the capital go, how were decisions made, may never be publicly answered. That sets a precedent of cross-border edtech governance that other investors and regulators should watch closely. For Byju Raveendran, a settlement clears his legal exposure globally. He walks away without conviction. That is, on the surface, a form of closure. But from an ESG lens, specifically social and governance, tens of thousands of students, teachers, and employees were directly impacted by this collapse. Vendors were unpaid, salaries were delayed, parents lost fees paid in advance. A private equity settlement between lenders and shareholders does not address that dimension of harm.
So I feel sorry, and I'm apologizing to those few students who missed out because services were disrupted.
There is no structured redress mechanism on the table for those who bore the real cost of this failure. And from a market governance perspective, Byju's collapse exposed critical gaps. Inadequate board oversight during rapid acquisition, weak audit and financial disclosure standards for late-stage private companies, regulators' arbitrage across multiple jurisdictions. If the legal case closes without a full public accounting, those gaps remain unaddressed. Byju's is not just an Indian story, it is a global cautionary tale about what happens when capital, ambition, and governance move at different speeds. The edtech sector globally raised billions during the pandemic. Byju's was its most visible symbol and its most visible failure. A $2 billion Aakash stake settlement doesn't restore what was lost, but it may be the most pragmatic resolution to a legal battle that no party can afford to keep fighting indefinitely. The question is not whether this deal closes. The question is what the system learned from it, and whether that learning gets built into governance frameworks before the next Byju's emerges. A settlement is not the same as resolution. Equity transfer is not the same as accountability. And closure for lenders is not the same as justice. For every stakeholder this collapse touched. Follow the Spotlight Beyond Profession for the analysis that goes beyond the headlines. Beyond profession, beyond headlines, beyond borders. Thank you very much for watching and signing it off.